Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Anything Liverpool. I'm here tonight, joined by Craig, Ben, and Wes to discuss all the latest developments around Liverpool Football Club. Now, as you may know, as you probably know, because we haven't had to suffer in a few days, there was no Liverpool games during this week, and there won't be up until next weekend either. So we've had a bit of a quieter time, let's say. We have well, if anyone's having a good evening, just think about the evening that the Irish have, especially Stephen and Dylan, which were extremely vocal in our group chat, because somehow made it through the playoffs for the World Cup, even though they were 2-1 down, I think, in the 80th minute. Trey Parrott, national hero, probably um, soon to be what's the word, like when you get like the new a new
Immortalized.
basically. He's gonna get and they're gonna create a whole new wall of fame for Irish football, and he's gonna be the first one to be in it. But yeah, let's address Liverpool rather, because this is what we're here tonight. Craig, how's your evening, mate?
Yeah, it's been all right. I've like I said before we came on, I've watched Germany and that's it. I've just kept away from football because it's. I think I just needed to give me basically a reset and just not watch any at all. I just need to. I think we're saturated with it. There's too much. I mean, God knows how we're going to go on when the World Cup's on because it's going to be at different ridiculous times and but yeah, I'm all right. I'm looking forward to the Premier League coming back because the fixtures are looking quite kind for us. I just hope that the lads who are away on international duty come back injury free and raring to go and with a point to prove. I think because there's too much negativity flying about. I mean, social media is toxic with it, and Sky and Talk Sport certainly don't help. That's my thoughts. I don't know what Ben and Wes and yourself think, but yeah, I'm good. Thanks for asking, and nice to see you all again. It feels like it's been a long time, too long actually.
Yeah, well, I actually do agree with your point that it's way too much football now. I think with the whole, we when I was a kid, we had qualifiers. Now we have Nations League as well. We have playoffs in the Nations League. We have a Club World Cup that's now apparently a few weeks long. So yeah, it's a lot of football, and I think it's been talked about for a few years now. But when Jurgen said it, he was whining. Now we can all agree that it's yeah, everyone seems to agree with that. Ben, how about you, mate?
I've enjoyed the week. It's been peaceful. No stress. No having to worry about 11 people who don't know me during the weekend. Uh, but at the same time, I do miss football. I'll always miss football. It's my favourite thing right now and probably will be forever. But yeah, and like Craig said, I can't wait for the fixtures for the Prem to return because our games are favourable. And you'd like to think that Liverpool will start winning consistently now, and maybe, hopefully, start a winning run, which leads into the new year and leads to potentially maybe using that as confidence to bounce off for the Champions League.
Yeah, well, we are going to get into that chat as well because obviously I think we can go for a bit of I mean, you can probably guess from the name of the stream that we're going to go into a bit of a season recap. I'm going to see how things were going and hopefully what we're gonna be doing in the next few weeks or months. Good evening, John. Good evening, everyone. If you're new here, please make sure to subscribe, like the video, and of course, if you're over on Twitter or X, as the kids call it nowadays, make sure to come over to YouTube and leave your thoughts in the chat. We'd love to hear from you as well. West, how about you, mate?
I'm good, Mia. Peaceful weekend. As Ben said, 11 players that's gonna ruin your week all the time. So I'm chilling. It's okay. Yeah, nothing much. South Africa's in the World Cup, and yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah, I actually been thinking about that World Cup. Well, I don't have to worry about my country being in it because we're shit as always. But at least the I won't be needing to stress too much about it because with the whole, I think as Craig said, with the whole time that those games were going to be on, that's not going to be kind for us. I remember watching the U.S. Open because I'm a bit of a tennis fan as well, and that was also a huge problem during the Open, is that I had to stay up or wake up really early, and yeah, that's going to be a struggle, especially for those of us that work full time. But we're going to have to talk about that more a bit in the next summer. And Craig, about next summer, we know of a few Reds who won't be representing their country. Soboslai and Kyrgyz have just missed out on their last chance, basically, to go into the playoffs for that World Cup. You have your Germany jersey on as well, so you'll be probably
Yeah,
have been watching Wirtz as well, and you'll be watching him a bit
yeah.
in the next few days as well. Can you make or what's your thoughts on our Reds who've been on away on international duty this week?
To be fair, I think I mean obviously the lads are not going to turn down playing for their countries because it's the biggest honour you can get to be called up by your country, and they're certainly not going to not want to play and not represent them. Um, but I just think when you look at it, this is what probably the third or fourth international break we've had. We've played 11 games already this season. So when you look at, we're playing 3 or 4 games and then they're away again for 2 weeks, and then they're coming back, and then they're sort of like, yeah, it's a different training regime, different routine, different style of player, and they've got to switch. I think this is why we're probably struggling to a degree, because obviously they travel and all that business, but they all come home on private jets. They don't fly on commercial airlines like we would do. But I just think, end of the day, if you have a successful season like Liverpool normally do, you're looking at 60 plus games a season, and then you're looking at international games as well. You're probably looking at probably 120 games a season. So your body's going to be absolutely drained, and basically you're on the bones of your ass. So I don't think it helps us, to be honest. For me, I just wish the European Championships was every 4 years like the World Cup, so we wouldn't be saturated with bloody foot. I mean, I love football, but there's too much of it. It's just you can't, you don't get a minute. We do. I mean, I know we're fans, but you don't get a minute to switch off. So if you're a pro, good God, I mean, I don't know how they do it. I mean, I'm hoping they come back and we hit the ground running, or we turn a corner. I don't think we have turned a corner. I think this is where Arne Slot now has got to earn his money now. He's being paid a lot of money by Liverpool. I mean, I've seen all the stuff what's coming out, and it's absolute nonsense. But the disappointing thing is for me, and before I'll end it with this, the Premier League season again. Well, okay, we played 11 games and we're eighth in the league, but we're champions, and yet again from 19 when we won it in 1920, yet again it's a poor defence of a Premier League title. It's shocking. I mean, I can't even say the word champions because it's embarrassing the way we're playing, because we just got absolutely battered by City. They were by far the better team, and we all know what's happened and Pl&Ucl, and I think if that goal had stood, we'd have still lost because City were far superior. And Slot got out coached that day, tactically as well. Um, I just my concern is, I think the way City played us, it set a blueprint how to beat Liverpool without going long ball. That's my biggest concern. Pep Guardiola's found a way to beat us without going long ball, so that's my biggest worry now. What's Slot going to do? He's going to have to pull the rabbit out the bag here.
Yeah, I think there's a few things in common that there's a few parallels that I think we can make with the 2021 season after we won the league. I think we had basically back there, we maybe had the excuse of having so many center backs injured, so that we paired Williams and Nat Phillips. But this season, with all the investments made, I think it's definitely a bit underwhelming, if I'm polite. But yeah, we're gonna get into that obviously a bit later as well. Ben, I seen a few things on Twitter of people saying that it's a good thing for us that Szoboszlai and Kerkez were not going to be at a World Cup. But I'm thinking, is that really how this is going? Because I'm thinking their morale, their for them representing their country at a World Cup, they haven't been at a World Cup in quite some time now, and it's like I'm feeling that whole summer that they're gonna have off and they're gonna basically watch other countries play at the World Cup, is not going to be necessarily beneficial for them.
No, it's not. You're just hoping that they can put it aside for a couple of months so they can help Liverpool get back to winning ways and stuff, the basics. But you wouldn't blame them for being upset. I mean, they were that close, 5 seconds away, and it's just been snatched away by someone called Troy Parry. I'd be devastated too. But yeah, from a fan perspective, yeah, it is. It's easy to say, well, they're not going to play for a month and a half. That's great, and that is. You have to look at it from their perspective. And like I said, they've just had their dream snatched away from them in the last second of a game. You wouldn't blame them if they were deflated.
Yeah, West. I know you're not the biggest. You haven't been the biggest slot supporter, if we can, frame it like that. In the past few weeks. Before we get into that, though, did you get a chance to basically watch some of the games for our international Reds, and what did you make of them?
Yeah, I did. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I did. I watched Netherlands. I watched the Ireland and Hungary game, and yeah, like for me, yeah, it's like international is like a thing for their countries. I only care about my club the most. So like, if like they qualify for the World Cup, maybe it's gonna take the stress out of them. Then they focus on Liverpool. But then yeah, like they kind of playing well, like Gravenberch and Soboslai and Kirk has got assists. I know Kirk is not he's not people's biggest fans, but then like he's putting up numbers. So yeah, it was kind of a okay international break.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Once again, if you're new around here, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave your thoughts in the chat as well, because we'd love to hear from you. Craig, as the title says, we're going to get into the season recap that we've been hinting at. You've already kind of talked about it a bit earlier. It's obviously been a poor start, let's say, for the season, and maybe, I don't know, part of me says that we've invested quite a lot, so we should have been better. But then at the same time, I'm thinking maybe we were expecting a bit too much, and Slot needs a bit more time to integrate all the new signings that we've had and find new systems and pathways and stuff like that to kind of create the perfect harmony around all of these players, for them to be at their best. But yeah, as you said, we're 8th in the league in November. That's not ideal. However, you did say that the fixture run is going to be kinder for us, which is true. We're going to play a lot of teams from basically the bottom half of the table, which, if you were to get back in form, this would be the perfect time for it.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the fixtures, it's looking quite nice. I mean, the thing is, we've got, and I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna take a leaf out of Ernie Slot's book here. I'm not even going to talk about a title race because I don't think we're in it. And I mean, if you, it's easy to let your heart rule your head as a Liverpool fan, but I'm not going to sugarcoat anything on this tonight, because I think, to be fair, there's a lot of Liverpool fans watch this, and we don't want to upset people. But at the end of the day, you've got to put a reality spin on it. And if you look at it now, we've got 27 games left. There's only 5 teams what have won the league after losing 5 games at the start of the season. So Liverpool are going to have to. They can only afford to lose 1 game from the remaining 27 now. Now, for me, there's only 2 teams who won't beat us. That's Wolves and West Ham. They're going to be playing Championship football for me. But everybody else is capable of beating Liverpool at the minute. And I think Arnie Slot, he did what Graham Souness tried to do. He tried to change too much too soon. And when you're a new player coming from a different country, and we'll use Florian Wirtz as an example, yeah, because he's been taking. I don't know what you three think, but he's been taking an hell of a battering, and his dad's come out and defended him this weekend. He's 22. He's a generational talent for Germany and for Liverpool. But the thing is, when you come to the Premier League, which is the fastest league in the world as well, sometimes it can take you a full season to adapt, not 6 months. And everybody's different. And another one who my best mate came around for the City game. He said he's going to stop coming because every time he's been round, we've lost. I said to him, I think Isak will struggle at Liverpool. Now, he didn't agree with me, but I honestly think he will. I just think he's not going to do what people are expecting him to do for me. And Etatike has to be your main striker, not Alexander Isak for me. But I think Arnie Slot, he's got to do what when he came in last year, he didn't change anything. He just did what he was good at. And I honestly believe if he looks in the mirror and he takes a long hard look at himself, I think that's what he's got to go back to. Because there's no better thing for confidence than winning games. And if Liverpool win 3 or 4 on the bounce, the league table position will look different, the points tally will look different, and everybody might be thinking, hang on a minute. So I'm quite happy that we've been wrought off now because the pressure's off. So I'd be interested in what Wes thinks and what Ben thinks. But I just think we've got to do what we do well and get back to basics and basically be a nasty team and be hard to beat. And if people don't like you, tough shit. You're not here to be liked and to be nice. You're there to be shot at and we're champions, and everybody's taking a pot at us and everything they're doing is coming off. So we've got to change something and change it quick. But if you're not up for it, then you shouldn't be starting. And for me, Mo Salah shouldn't be even in the first 11 at the minute. He shouldn't be warming the bench. He should be sat at home, having a good think of what he needs to do. But that's my thoughts on it. But it can change. We can't win the league in November, but you can certainly lose it.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of points dropped for the title charge. And with what you've said, there's obviously a lot of players that are not in the best form. With Mo Salah, I think we've had this conversation now for the past few weeks. Monty, even, I think he's not at his best. I think that's pretty obvious. And now, unfortunately, with him not having the offensive numbers as well, you have to see the lack of defensive contribution that he has as well. With the majority, I think I've seen a stat, basically a map on Twitter, in the last week, I think, where I've seen basically 45 of our opposition's attacks were down the right-hand side of our defense. So obviously we're being targeted there, and mainly because Mo Salah doesn't really do the defensive work either. And with the things you've said, I do agree that on form and on how things are looking, Ekitike has to be one of the first names on the team sheet. But then you have a few problems. Because if you play Ekitike, maybe you don't play Isak, and if Isak doesn't play, then you have a 130 million player you're keeping on the bench. If Ekitike plays on the left and Isak plays down the middle, then you have Cody Gakpo not playing, who's been pretty consistent, I think, for us in the past few seasons. I think he's one of the players that have been underrated. If Cody Gakpo doesn't start, then maybe you start Wirtz on the left, because if you don't, then you have to basically play him in the midfield. And I think for us, a midfield of Gravenberch, McAllister, and Szoboszlai is the way to go. I think we've seen how Wirtz fits there, and I'm not completely sure that we can integrate him in the midfield at the moment. I think for us, playing that midfield that we've played last season basically is basically our best shot at being tough to play against. But yeah, Ben, your thoughts on the season and basically on what we've just discussed?
Well, we've definitely not played like champions, that's for sure. I am, like a lot of people, I'm disappointed to see the lack of effort from certain players, the lack of, there's like commitment from certain players as well. certain players getting distracted too easily by rumours and other things outside football, like Canate in general. I think it's not just on the it's not just on the pitch. Like, so only Sobo looks like he cares, really, in most games. Like, even in the City game, even though he wasn't good, he still tried. No one else tried, and that's the problem. That's why we lose too many games. We're not trying hard enough. We're not imposing ourselves on games. We're just too easy to beat. We don't win the second balls. We don't even win the first balls. Nothing we do is right, and that's all. And that's a concern. And Slot is a Dutch manager. Dutch managers have shown tendencies to be very stubborn, very incapable of fixing these kinds of problems. I mean, we've seen it before in the Premier League with the Dutch managers, Ten Hag and all of them, to name one. That's my concern, really, because, like I said, Dutch managers very rarely turn around these problems.
Yeah, well, I think, well, one thing that I could disagree with you with. I think you made your point with the Dutch managers, but I think last season what we've seen from Slot is that he's fairly open to change things up even at halftime during games. I think in a lot of moments, basically, I remember a game against Leicester when we were one. It was 1-0, I think, at halftime, basically at Anfield, and we had basically in the first half we hit like 30 something crosses, and then in the second half basically crossed the ball only 5 times more, mainly because we can see these kind of tactical changes, I think, during games last season a few times, and I think that's kind of saved us, and that's one of the reasons why we've praised Slot. But yeah, West. I know we've talked about Slot quite a few times on streams, the two of us, and I've always said that you're being too harsh, but then somehow reality seems to, let's say, be on your side a bit more during these weeks. Do you think there's still a way to save the season? And if so, how?
Yeah, of course. As a fan, I believe that like there's still a way to save our season. How for me like to save our season, like you have to drop the main guy. Salah has to sit down in the bench or to the stands. I keep saying this about Salah. I remember like the old shoes that we used to do at a certain channel. I always said Salah, besides the goal, Salah doesn't offer anything else. You saw the City game where they targeted our side, Bradley and Konate's side mostly because they knew that Salah was never going to track back. People said Foden is going to have a good game. Foden didn't show up in that game. Doku was a starting because they targeted his side the most. So like I look at where like for Slot to fix this, like this thing of not playing K's, I think if you just play players who are on form, then we'll be okay. Who are gonna run? Because you can see K's pressing stats are kind of decent. Play K's, a person who can press for us, he can start the press him and Eketike. I don't care if we have Isak on the bench because Eketike is the one performing. You don't wanna one thing you wanna do is accept like make two players pissed off. At least you can make Isak angry. I couldn't care less. I know we spent 120 million on him, but then Slot needs wins. So this thing of like, okay, I'm gonna drop Ekitike, I'm gonna play with Isak because it costs 120 million. At this point here, your job is under risk, So for me, the only way to save it, play informed players and play compact football. Don't try this attacking because you see that your own play style is failing you. So go back to what you've done last season. Compact. That's it. There's nothing wrong with that, to be honest. Yeah, that's the only way.
Yeah, well, Craig,
Mhm.
I did say, and I think we've seen a bit on. I don't know if you've seen Ekitike's goal, I think, versus Ukraine in the last few days. Basically, he had a really nice transition, basically, from the left hand side, basically came in the center, and then after a 1-2, he scored.
Mm.
Is Ekitike on the left a solution for you? So then Isak plays up front. And if so, or if not so, then what do you think of? Because basically, what I've said about a bit earlier, and one of my thoughts during the past few weeks is that if Wirtz starts now, he has to play on the left, because I don't want to break apart that midfield three of Gravenberch, Maka, and Soboslai. What are your thoughts on all that?
Right. Well, obviously, I've got German ancestry in my family tree, so Florian Wirtz plays on the left for Germany, and you know, we, I've seen what he's done for Germany there, and he did the same for Bayer Leverkusen as well. I mean, when you look at it, you go back to his debut for Bayer Leverkusen at 17 against Bayern Munich, and he scores past one of the best keepers we've seen in modern football, Manuel Neuer. So I think the thing is, I'd play Wirtz on the left. I think it's his best position, to be honest. But I was really pleased we signed Alexander Isak because he is class. I still don't think he's fit by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think you're going to see the best of Isak till next season, to be fair. But when we signed him, I said to my best mate, "We've got one big problem now, and this is a massive, massive problem." So he said, "What is it?" I said, "Isak and Salah can't play together," and I still maintain that they can't. And the thing is, all strikers are selfish. And if you look at how many times Salah could have put it on a plate for Isak or Etatike and he's decided to go himself, you could count them on one hand at one point, but now you're using all 10 digits on your hands and then probably your toes as well. So that's my concern. Salah can't play with Isak, but yeah, I'd have Wirtz on the left. Uh, and then I'd have Isak up front, definitely. But the thing is, you can't. I know he's cost 130 million, but the thing is, at the end of the day, if you're not pulling up trees and you're not performing as you should do, you can't start. There's when you pull that Liverpool shirt on, right? I mean, look how many players have worn it in the past and what it means to wear it. And I'll give you a player in the squad now as an example. I think he's struggling with it. Kirkes, I think the liver bird on his chest is weighing too much for him at the minute. He's struggling. Now I've seen reports as well that Andy Robertson's looking at returning to Glasgow, probably Celtic next summer. That'd be a good move for Robbo. It really would. I'd be sorry to see him go, but I think Kirkes is struggling and he needs taking out the limelight. But Etatike and Wirtz on the left, Etatike up front, and then I'd have Federico Chiesa on the right. What that man has to do to get a start, I don't know. I'm pulling my teeth out because I know he's just turned down the chance to go and play for Italy. Now he wouldn't normally do that, so he must be thinking, right, I'm not 100% ready for my national team yet, and he's giving everything for Liverpool. Nobody can deny his attitude. So I think I agree what you're asking there, and I think it's a great point. It really is. But I've got a funny feeling Mo Salah will leave in the summer. I think he'll be gone. But I think it's clever business from Liverpool getting both Virgil and Mo to sign 2-year contracts because if they do, I was talking with Deck about this, and we both agreed. We're a similar opinion. We think Virgil and Mo will be off in the summer, both of them. So you're gonna get. So if they do, you're gonna get a transfer fee for both. And now, and like Ben said about Canate there, I'm sorry, but I'm just waiting for him to come out and say he's leaving. He's going to Madrid. He's not stopping at Liverpool. But now the stories are coming out that we're linked with Slotterbeck as well now, and it's getting quite strong. So there's no smoke without fire, is there? But I think it's a great point you've raised, and I think it's one Ernie Shot should have a look at, to be honest. He's nothing to lose by it.
Yeah, I think I wanted to come back and ask you about Konate, because basically you've talked a bit about him. I've seen reports of him asking a fee of basically a wage of 350K in pounds, obviously, in a week to stay, so he'd become one of the highest earners at the club. That seems outrageous to me, especially with his latest performances. I think Konate can absolutely be a world-class player when he's at his best. But you've just seen a lot of hot and cold performances from him this season. I think he has a good game and then 3 mediocre ones. So you can basically rely on him, which Craig, I must say, when you said that you're thinking Virgil will be off in the summer, I had a bit of a sigh, because I'm not ready for that. If I'm not with that defense, with
Yeah, I'm not
imagine.
saying he will. I'm not saying he will do, but you know, at the end of the day, he's what is he? 33, 34. So, you know, you've got to be looking at bringing somebody in to take his place. I read something yesterday. It's looking like Liverpool have blown the chances of signing Mark Gay. I don't believe that. From what I've been reading from a reliable source, he's already told Real Madrid he's committed to signing for Liverpool. I don't think, you know, if we signed him in January, I don't think he would have solved the problem we've had or we've got. I don't think he would have sorted it out on his own. It's not a one person fix. This is not a quick fix. But the modern day football fan wants a quick fix. They want it now, and it doesn't work like that. This is a problem that 25 lads have got to get to grip with. But Ernie Slot, Ben might correct me here, and you might correct me. Ernie Slot said he didn't want a squad of 25, he wanted a smaller squad. But now he's got a smaller squad. Look at the problems he's got. He's making a rod for his own back. You need a bigger squad so you've got more options and more quality. Because I believe that FSG are going to back him again in January and in the summer, which they will. They're not going to pull the trigger and get rid of him. And I agree with Ben. The Dutch are stubborn. We've seen it with Erik ten Hag. We've seen it with lots of Dutch managers who have been at Man United particularly, you know, and they were national managers as well, and you know what I mean. But the thing is, let's just say Wes got his dream and it happened tomorrow, and FSG fired Ernie Slot. Who do you bring in? Who's out there good enough? That's the problem you've got. So you've got to be careful what you wish for in football. And I just think Liverpool fans need to take a step back. Don't overreact to anything. We're being shot at now. So what you do is you close ranks and you back each other. You back the boys because they will come good. You don't become a bad team and a bad manager in 4 games. Every team's going to have a purple patch. I mean, the only ray of sunshine I've seen today for me was that Saliba got injured for playing for Brazil at the Etihad the other night in a friendly. Great. Long may it continue. You know, he could be out for 3 to 6 weeks. I don't know. But I just think everybody needs to just calm down a little bit and trust the lads, and they will get it right. But you're right in all 3 of you. You're right in what you're saying. It's not nice. It's ugly. But no, we've got to sort of roll our sleeves up now and be the Liverpool we were last year, and shut a few people up, particularly a couple of channels on TV. You know, let's keep them quiet if we can, and Gary Neville.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I'm most annoyed with during this whole social media age is how reactive people are. It's, you know, we were losing 4 games in a row, and now we're out of top. We're not getting top 4 or whatnot, and then basically we're winning against Madrid, and we're back. And you know, things are never that simple. But yeah, Ben, back to the Konate point. Would you want Konate to stay in? Basically, would you want him to get that wage, or do you think it would be better for him to leave? I tend to agree with the second part a bit more now.
The thing you read about the 350,000, I think you've been baited. It's from a troll account. That one, that thing. What Canati wants is he wants his salary to be doubled. And from what I've seen, he's on 70,000, so he wants around 140 to 200k, which I mean, it's understandable. When he's on his day, he's one of the best defenders in the world, so he is. He's right to want that kind of money in a way. But if you're that easily distracted by a few rumours to Madrid, then I'd happily say bye-bye, because Liverpool, you have to be focused 10% every game. Canate isn't that. So I'd drive into Madrid myself, fly into Madrid if possible.
Yeah, we've seen
Yeah.
a few things now from Konate. Basically,
Good answer, Ben.
he did say that there's a lot of ins and outs that people don't know about his contract, and that he wants resolution soon. Now, I think all of us want it because we've had enough of contract talks last season. But yeah, West. I think I don't even know what I'm going to ask you because we've changed topics about 3 times since I last talked to you. But basically, on the whole 11, on who plays where on the Konate point, on the center back situation, where are you at?
But the whole 11, like at this point, I'll stick with Konate because I know, like on his day, he will give me a 10 out of 10 performance on his day. But then, like as I said, for me, it comes to 11. I think I'll just take Salah out and put in Chiesa and maybe Ekitike and Gakpo. Yeah, I'm not changing the 11 too much because I don't think the 11 is a problem. I think the tactics are the problem of how we are deploying ourselves in, of how we're struggling to ping 5 passes together, of how we can't even create chances together. Like, yeah, and how we're struggling to win long balls. Like you see the games that we're playing, right? I see you guys mention the games. Those all those things that they have in common is long balls, which Liverpool struggled with. So how sure are you that can we win those games? Because we struggled against Brentford, we struggled against which team do we play? Yeah, I remember Newcastle long balls. I remember that game. So now all the teams we're gonna play now, the best goal scoring opportunity is our kryptonite, is a long ball. Just play a long throw in. Kirkes can't jump to save his life. Konate is weak as piss. And yeah, so like I really don't know if can those games are easy on paper, but then like the way these guys are gonna play, long ball. Come on. Mustafa, only if this guy like the only way Liverpool can get inside the title race is only Liverpool win their games. Only Liverpool themselves win their performances. You know, Liverpool can be their worst enemy sometimes. So they need to focus on themselves and actually we're eight and actually to forget about the league title. Just focus on yourself and then you will see in January what happens.
Yeah, I think we've got to play to our strengths. 'Cause if you look at the back four, I don't know if Ben's picked up on this and Wes and yourself, but when Kirkes has played at left back, Van Dijk doesn't seem to have the same trust as he has with Andy Robertson because they've built a relationship over a period of time. Now you've got a young man who's come in. He's only young. He's early 20s. So it's like Virgil's nursing him through a game, but because of the high intensity of it and the speed of it, you can't. I don't. I'm not going to put Kirkes down here, but we can't be babysitting players at this moment in time. If you know what I mean. I mean, for me, Andy Robertson has to start now. If you get an hour out of Andy Robertson and we're 2 or 3 up, then you can put Kirkes on. You know, I mean, yeah, Alison Becker's been a huge miss, but and I'm not going to have a go at Mamardashvili because it was never a penalty against City, and then justice was repaid because he saved the penalty. You know, but I think once you've got an understanding in your back four, and then your midfield, because like Wesley just said there, the teams that have played long ball against us. Look how many lads we've got in that back four who are 6'4". If we win the first ball, then suppose why Gravenberch and McAllister should be picking up the second ball. So the question has to be, why are they not? But if you look at when we played Villa and Real Madrid, look how quick we closed Aston Villa down. And when we lost possession, we were regaining it within 5 seconds. That's what it's like Ben said on the last stream he did. The press went missing. It has gone missing. So Ernie Slot needs to just go back to what works. It's not, it's still there. And he's got to say, listen, lads, you know what worked. Trust it and let's get it back. So everything you're saying, you're spot on, all three of you. it's just ugly to watch. But it's going to get worse before it gets better, as they say. But you know, I mean, my question to Wes is, just to you, Wes, right? If FSG were to get rid of Ernie Slot, who would you want to step in and take over? Because I know you've been banging the drum that you're not a fan of his. So who takes his place? Sam Allardyce.
Not really, but like as a Liverpool fan, like when you look at the Liverpool job, you tell me that job is not tasty for Luis Enrique to just turn his head or Carlo Ancelotti to just look like, Liverpool, the fan base, the biggest club in the world, like the fans will back you. Like this job is tasty for managers. Like let's not act like Liverpool is like some Arsenal thing. We are Liverpool. Like anyone looks at that job, anyone would take our job. So
So
we can't go to Enrique.
So my question
Me,
to you is: if Ernie Slott's released of his contract, who you take it? Who do you want to take over? Give me a
Steven
manager. Give
Gerrard.
me a name. Because you've been
Steven Gerrard.
honestly, I'm surprised. I'm surprised. I'm surprised he's not had you on this, and I'm surprised Ben's not come at you with a double barrel shotgun. So because
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'll take Enrique to be
do you
honest.
have
Or I'll take Ancelotti. Ancelotti or Enrique.
Ancelotti?
Yeah, I'll take it because I still think Ancelotti's a quality manager. Madrid is a different barrel. Well, maybe if Xavi gets sacked, I can also take Xavi Alonso.
Oh,
It's,
really?
yeah,
But we spanked him twice. But
yeah. But then, like you see, it was now as you're saying, like Dutch managers are stubborn. How long can we be losing games? That's the question now. How long can we keep losing games? Because now the teams we're gonna play, I'm telling you now, they won't. I don't think the games will be like a walkover. I think they'll just play one long ball, 1-0 down, and then they just pack the pass at the end. How much games can Slot be losing for us to say, you know what, we keep saying it's gonna click, it's gonna click. How long
so
can that last
right,
at this point?
so to the other two, to my other two friends on the left hand side of me, if Ernie Slot was to go, right, it's just popped into my head. This, I think, it's a great question. If Ernie Slot was relieved, do you think Jurgen Klopp would come back if he was asked?
No.
Why?
Yeah, go ahead, Ben.
He just looks like he's enjoying life. He's been allowed to do the things he wasn't allowed to do for 10 years. He's got a grandkid he's looking after. That's his life now. He's not just going to turn away from that to come and do what drained him of all his energy again. Just to be told, no, you're not going to be here long term. You're only here to steer the ship, and then you get gone, and we're gonna get another manager. If Klopp comes back, and it's not to club football, it's to Germany. But if it was to club football, it would be us, but it would only be on a long-term basis, not on a 18-month kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we'd see Klopp back managing also pretty much any other side because I think he's had enough, and honestly, I understand him because we've been talking about it a bit. Like, for me, I'm only a fan, but after the 21-22 season, I think I needed a few months to recover, especially from how it ended as well, with us, missing out on the Champions League, on the Premier League title, in the manner in which we did. I was so tired, and basically I needed time. I basically couldn't watch football for a while, for a few months. And for Jurgen to say he's running out of energy and that he basically ran out of energy when he left, I think it's not even fair to ask of him to come back. I think it's fair to let him enjoy his life now and basically do the things he never had time for. And yeah, regarding the whole Ancelotti and Xabi Alonso thing, look, realistically, never. They're never gonna come. Like Ancelotti obviously managing Brazil, Xabi Alonso obviously at Madrid. They're just not even being. I mean, I think Xabi, did he reject us or we didn't even approach him?
Yeah.
Last summer.
He decided to stay at Leverkusen for another year, didn't he? You knew who I'd go for if we could coax him away. Ben might not agree with me here, but I'd go for PSG's manager.
He's one of my top I'd take him in a heartbeat. My top target's Simone Inzaghi.
Inzaghi, yeah, good manager, yeah. Really good manager, Inzaghi, yeah. But either him or the manager at PSG, because I still I've said this since last season when they knocked us out the Champions League. That really earned his thought, and I think the way he wants us to play, I think his blueprint he set out in his head with the players he's bringing in. He wants us to play like PSG, but can that style of player work in the Premier League? That's the $1 million question, isn't it?
It's funny that you say that he wants to play like PSG. He's brought in 2 flying fullbacks. One of them's become injury prone out of nowhere. And then he's brought in a left back who was known for attacking, and he doesn't let him attack.
Yeah.
Like Kirkus is forced to stay back and form a back three with Van Dijk, which fair enough, I understand that's how you want to set up. But if that's your long term thing, why sign a fullback whose best qualities are on the other side of the pitch when so many other players we could have signed?
Yeah.
Like Castillo Rukeba from Leipzig.
Well, I don't know if you've seen the same thing I've been reading, but the links are pretty strong coming out of Italy. That Liverpool have been linked with Bastoni.
Never.
I don't see that happening, but I think we've been linked to Bastoni for about 3 seasons now. So he's not getting any younger as well. So yeah,
He's only 26.
Yeah, if you get him now, but then again, if you get him, he's gonna be what 80, 90 million. So
What do you make of the news? What's come out this afternoon? That Liverpool are in discussions with Crystal Palace over Adam Wharton.
Not a fan.
Yeah, that was basically our next topic. So you can go right ahead and share your thoughts with that.
Well, I mean, my question is, what's he worth?
65 million.
Quite a lot, yeah.
Would you pay that?
No.
Absolutely not.
So,
I just
Pay what?
65 million for Adam Wharton. I think there's better players out there we can sign. I think that the main transfer has got to be a centre back. For me, in January, if I could sign him, because I've seen him, I think he's better than Mark Gay. I'd sign Slotterbeck in January from Dortmund. But I wouldn't hesitate one bit.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned him in the summer in the sense that from what I've seen and from what's within reach, I think Schlotterbeck is one of the players that would fit in really well with Liverpool's style of football. But obviously, in the summer, he had I think an ACL. I think he's just coming back. Yeah. So now I think he's back playing for 1 or 2 months, but yeah, I think Schlotterbeck he's been on the radar for a few years now.
He's class. He's quality. Yeah. He really is.
So yeah, I think obviously a center back would be the priority, and honestly, I don't really know about that Warden rumor that's been going around because I just can't see where we'd play him. We already have problems with fitting everyone in that first 11. So,
do you guys honestly think that Liverpool are genuinely interested in Semenyo from Bournemouth, or do you think it's just all speculation?
I do think we're interested because we need a left winger, but it's also just an easy name to put down because our sporting director isn't where he came from. Just, in my opinion, it's lazy journalism.
Well, all right. So, I'm a bit lost now because I think we went from Inzaghi to Semenyo within 5 minutes. So I need a bit of time to see where my head's at. But yeah, one of the topics was Adam Wharton. West, I think I'll let you basically have a go at this one because for me, Adam Wharton's always been a bit of a can I say just a bit of overrated play. I think we mostly the sum that we've been hearing is within 60, 80 million, which I think is just a lot for him.
Oh shit, metric.
He's disappeared.
Well, he really doesn't like Warden, it seems.
I
So
mean, 60 to 80 million is a huge amount of money, and I can't see us spending anywhere near that in January.
It'd be a summer thing. If it was to
Yeah,
happen, it'd be in the summer.
he's going to be a summer thing, but I still think there's better players in his position than him from Palace. It's. But the thing is, it's like Semenyo's a left winger, isn't he? So if they sign Semenyo on the left, then you've got Semenyo, you've got Wirtz, you've got Gakpo, you've got Rio Ngamoa. So you're sport for choice to a degree, aren't you? He's not gonna sign for Liverpool and sit on the bench. He's gonna want to play, isn't he?
I don't think if we signed Semenyo that Gakpo would stay. I think he'd be gone in the summer. I don't think Gakpo's long-term future is at Liverpool. I can't see Gakpo at Liverpool next season. I don't think he's of the level to be a Liverpool player. He's a solid 7 out of 10, but there's a saying that once you become a certain level, the good players show themselves to be like hindrances, big hindrances, however you pronounce that. And Gakpo is one of those good players. He's not an elite player. We need an elite player, a left winger.
Yeah, can he? That's the big question is, can he make the next step up from a good player to an elite player? I don't think he can. I just think he's always going to be a consistently good player. Because I mean, you'll have seen the same things I've seen since we've gone in this mini dip of losing 4 on the bounce, and they're saying, "Oh, are Liverpool missing Trent? Are Liverpool missing Luis Diaz?" Well, hang on a minute. You mentioning 2 players there who didn't want to stay at Liverpool. They both wanted to leave. So why would we miss them when they don't want to be there? That's like going back to your ex-girlfriend or your ex-missus.
Thank you.
You don't do it. End of the day, close the door on your way out where it says mark exit and you move on.
I agree.
We will always attract quality players. And I think that this plan that FSG have now, I think it's a 3-stage plan. I'm quite interested to see how stage 2 and stage 3 unfold and who comes in. But you've just got to trust what you've got at the minute. And, I mean, Ben and Wes have made some really, really good valid points tonight, and yourself, Mr. Host. So I just think the season's not over. And it says like the Premier League, and my expectations have changed dramatically. I think the key thing for me now is finishing the top 4, qualify for the Champions League. That's the must. Qualify for the Champions League. I don't think we're going to win the European Cup. And I'm not letting me, I'm speaking with my head, not my heart here. I think that the best 2 teams in it for me at the minute, from what I've seen, are Bayern Munich and PSG. One of them 2 will win it. I can't separate them at the moment, but that's my thoughts on what I expect for the season at the moment.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know if it's my head or my heart, but I'm ready to get hurt again. I believe in us getting any trophy that's on the table this season. Hopefully we can get some silverware, but yeah, realistically, I wanted to highlight this comment and have a bit of a chat around it. So basically, what I think is, with the whole conversation that we've had now in the past hour, the thing for me is how tactics change depending on where you play certain players. Because you have Ekitike who can play off the left and down the middle. You have Isak who can play centrally. If Isak plays, you have to have a certain tactic. If Chiesa plays and Isak play together, you have to have a certain tactic. If Mo Salah plays, you have to have something different. If Wirtz plays on the left and I don't know, you have Isak playing, then again, you need to take into account the pressing, the intensity, and everything around it. So basically, where my head's at the moment, with everything that we've discussed, is Slot needs to get the season absolutely, um, and realistically, if by next season this team with the investments that have been made is still looking lost, then I think it's fair to kind of start to have a bit of a chat regarding the tactics and the manager. But now, a bit early for it, I think.
Just to point out that last comment, what popped up, that's our friend from Norway, Alred. He's changed his name. He's changed his name to St. Alvid. Yeah, he's there again. Yeah, that's Alred who does the streams, hosts the streams on whatever. Ben knows who it is because he said Stevie was going to change his name, so he has done. So I don't think you saw that, Mai, but yeah, it's our Viking from Norway. He's only on the chat.
Is Erling Haaland watching our streams? Wow, I thought he was playing in Italy as we speak, but look at that.
Yeah, he's finished
Yeah.
0-0, I believe.
Oh, well, yeah, with still a fair chance for Italy to qualify. They only need to win 9-0 from what I know. So,
They need Kane.
yeah, good call. It is indeed. And with that in mind, I think we're going to end tonight's live streaming. Thanks a lot to Craig, to Ben, to West for being here tonight. Thanks a lot to everyone in the chat, and thanks obviously for liking, subscribing, and commenting. It does help out a lot. From next week onwards, we'll be back with Premier League action in the weekend. But until then, the build up for it. And on Saturday, I'm going to be hosting again, so hopefully I'm going to see all of you again then as well. Obviously, up until then, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of every time we're streaming. Until then, once again, thanks a lot to the lads, and up the Reds.